Hello, welcome to Cthulhu's Poetry Spot thingy, whatever it is. Look at that, there's the time, there's the date. That's the actual phone I use because I don't want an iPhone. Look there, pay as you go. We are the most persecuted. Get on with the thing, just read the words in front of you. Okay, June. Our questions were answered with superheroes. Who rescued from the rescuing? Graffiti authored unknown, intent on subverting back down. That plinth levitation through questioning, control the lie enough for truth. It was always first and so feared, rendered into diminishing boredom. That first question open to guesses, who are distressing the distressed. Ensures long arguments, seconds wasted, enabled disappeared, left to ask questions forgotten. But thanks, misinformed graffiti, of the rescued who did the rescuing. Wall of building spray painted onto, scheduled demolition for motorway. Thanks generally to administered propaganda, super rescuers appeared, but rocket launchers chased them away, improvised explosives and spoken words, chanting, "Who rescued from the rescuers?" No other take offered that subject. The distressing, invisible checked in. Plans now stamped, hotel table put. The power with guilt only in future, stared at the distressed in the present. Hobbled by ancestral legends, with the vision their only plaything. The walls allowed to exist, if only painted on them lies, to obscure question before, who are distressing the distressed. No answers offered, to superhero nothing. Paper headline of rescuers exposed. Minneapolis, sack their police. Survivors are the electorates if hope still tasted, then reflection with action, position on the mountain. Tending protesters in the right, peaceful objections, notified intent. Sanctuary of medical tent occupied. Police stormed in, opening fire. A council have met and decided to fire and void the contract with that state's police department. That has actually happened. Litigation was the punchline. Uncles told of difference between states and kingdom sidestepping its own backlog. Even then, department won't go procedurally. Their police uncontrollable from guns. People claim to need from the crime. Born of inequalities, lie of consume. For the answers, we sit back around. You can't justify the police opening fire at medics tending injured protesters on the night another cracked straw made the world finally see the camel's intestines. After learning how dangerous reporting overnight from a story of I couldn't breathe in, that line in the sand finally reached dry land, a silence impossible to retreat from. Watching. This world seems more inspired by more powerful weaponry of dismissal to unemployed. And finally, the anchoress, I'm going to have to buy a record. She's putting together a fanzine. She mentioned on Twitter she'd like stuff about loss. I sent her some little, because they always run the small, don't they? I sent them some tiny things, and I also sent 8 lines from 3 different things put together. I've got time, 8 different lines, jumbled them all up. So this is called loss, I suppose. The game show rules. You go back in time. Follow yourself screaming invisible warnings as the studio audience howls deriding. Except only to ask is reinterpreted as take all we've got under lie it was promised. Break up communication so nobody can hear that it hasn't. Suit and tie, heartfelt to camera in lies. Yet unable to smell the petrol engulfed in. yet still wanting flame. Look at that, over 5 minutes.